When we talk about military power in Africa, many people tend to think only in terms of how many soldiers a country has. But that's just one part of the equation. In reality, there are well-defined criteria that determine how strong an army truly is. To assess a nation's military strength, we look at several fundamental factors. Defense budget. How much money does each country invest in its armed forces every year? The larger the budget, the more resources a country has for training its troops, acquiring modern equipment, and maintaining its military readiness. Just to give you an idea, some African countries have annual defense budgets exceeding $10 billion. Number of active and reserve troops. Active soldiers are those ready to deploy at any given moment. Reserve troops are individuals who can be called upon when necessary, such as in times of war or national emergency. For example, Egypt has over 1 million soldiers when combining both active and reserve forces. Quality and quantity of military equipment. Having a large number of soldiers isn't enough. It's essential to have tanks, fighter jets, artillery, submarines, and other advanced military assets. We also consider factors like technological modernization, partnerships with other countries, and the origin of military equipment, whether it's Russian, Western, or locally produced. Combat experience. This refers to participation in wars, regional conflicts, and peacekeeping operations. An experienced army is usually much more effective, even if it's smaller in size. Examples include Angola, which has a long history of internal wars, and Kenya, known for its counterterrorism experience. And that's the foundation for today's video. We're counting down the 10 African countries with the most powerful militaries, ranked according to these key criteria. Stay with us until the end, because number 1 on the list might surprise you. And if you enjoy videos about history, geopolitics, and African culture, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our content. Let's get started. 10th place, Angola, a rising regional power backed by oil wealth. Kicking off our list is Angola, a country that has turned its oil wealth into military power. Defense budget. Over $3.5 billion annually, one of the largest defense investments in sub-Saharan Africa, fueled by Angola's oil revenues. Number of troops. 107,000 active soldiers. 500,000 reserve soldiers. That means Angola's military force surpasses 600,000 personnel in total. Military equipment. Angola's army has access to modern equipment including fighter jets, tanks, and heavy artillery. The country is continuously investing in upgrading its military capabilities. Combat experience. Angola's armed forces have been involved in the long-running Angolan Civil War, which lasted nearly 3 decades. Ongoing conflicts in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. These experiences have shaped a battle-tested army with real-world operational experience. Strategic differentials. Thanks to its oil wealth, Angola can sustain a substantial military investment. This positions Angola as an emerging regional power in African defense affairs. While it may not yet rival the giants of the continent, Angola is undeniably on the rise. When people think about military power in Africa, they often picture large numbers of soldiers marching in formation. But in reality, raw troop numbers are just one piece of a much larger and more complex puzzle. Military strength goes far beyond headcounts. It involves a combination of several key factors that, together, determine which nations truly hold influence and power on the African continent. That's why, in today's video, we're not just looking at the size of armies. We're diving deeper into 4 essential criteria used to rank the military strength of African countries. Defense budget. First, we consider how much each country spends on its military annually. A bigger defense budget means more resources for things like training programs, the purchase of state-of-the-art equipment, the maintenance of existing hardware, and even military research and development. For perspective, some African countries dedicate over $10 billion per year to their defense. That's comparable to mid-sized militaries in other parts of the world, underscoring Africa's growing role in global security. Active and reserve troop. The second criterion is manpower. Active troops are always ready to deploy, while reserves can be called up if necessary during emergencies or wartime. Some countries maintain massive reserve forces as part of their national defense strategy. For instance, Egypt boasts over 1 million soldiers, combining active personnel and reserves. making it not just Africa's largest army, but one of the largest in the world. Quality and quantity of military equipment. It's not just about having soldiers, it's about what those soldiers can actually do on the battlefield. That means tanks, fighter jets, drones, submarines, artillery systems, and specialized vehicles. Countries that invest in modernizing their arsenals stand out in this category. Partnerships with global powers, whether Russia, the United States, or European countries, play a big role in shaping the quality of Africa's military equipment. Some armies rely on Russian-made hardware, others use NATO standard gear. This variety creates very different military capabilities across the continent. Keycap 4 Combat Experience. Finally, we assess real-world military experience. Has a country's army been tested in actual combat situations? Have they participated in peacekeeping missions, regional conflicts, or anti-terrorism operations? This kind of experience is invaluable. It transforms a theoretical fighting force into a battle-hardened military capable of handling unpredictable scenarios. Countries like Angola, which endured decades of civil war, or Kenya, with its expertise in counterterrorism, are prime examples of African militaries shaped by on-the-ground experience. Globe showing Europe-Africa purpose of this video. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 most powerful militaries in Africa, carefully ranked according to these 4 criteria. We'll cover each country's defense budget, troop numbers, equipment quality, and combat record. By the end, you'll have a clearer understanding of which nations hold the most military influence on the continent today. Stay until the end. And trust me, number 1 on the list might surprise you. If you enjoy learning about African history, geopolitics, and international military affairs, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 10th place, Angola. Oil wealth transformed into military power. Opening our countdown is Angola, ranked as the 10th strongest military force in Africa. At first glance, Angola might not seem like an obvious choice for this list, especially when compared to countries like Egypt or South Africa. But Angola's military strength comes from a unique combination of natural wealth, historical necessity, and strategic investment. Defense budget. Angola allocates over $3.5 billion annually to its military. That's a massive figure by regional standards, fueled largely by its oil exports. Angola is one of the top oil producers in Africa, and a significant portion of that revenue goes directly into defense spending. Troop numbers. Angola maintains a formidable fighting force, 107,000 active duty